defunct architecture and how you deal with it. I said, why would anything become defunct? It doesn't become defunct by itself. We make it defunct. We say, well, I'm bored of this, I throw it. Or we say, the economy, all our mills, Phoenix mills, I mean in Calcutta they were saying there's another mill which has been razed to the ground to put up a school. Why couldn't we innovatively try and use those structures for different uses? Why do we say that the building is defunct? You have to be innovative enough to make it adaptively use for something else. And I'm sure that it costs a little more thinking, but it will definitely cost less. This is, the old Madras terrace roof. I do not know if you all know, but we had wooden rafters and these, low energy bricks. And they are very cool. This house, Manas JIA award. And this is one more thing that, fascinates me. We've done so many houses, we've done so many buildings, but the ones that get us awards and recognition are invariably things which we have done like this. They're not the glass, the trendy, modern, aluco board buildings. No. So why is it that the world recognizes that being Indian is so important, and why is it that we do not recognize it ourselves? This, as an ode to Pallava architecture, incorporated a lot of granite friezes, carving work. I was very happy because I had to interact with the carver and tell him what to do and how to fix glass. It was a challenge, but it's beautiful. Why can't we incorporate it? This, I think Indians are I do not know now whether we are changing, very possessive of things. We build a house once in a lifetime. We keep the air conditioner that was given by my grandfather. We say that is legacy. Keep it carefully, in boxes. You keep your saris, your wedding saris, your mother's wedding sari will be worn by the daughter on her wedding day. So this client came to us and said, I'm breaking an old house, but I want everything to be incorporated in the new house. At first I laughed at him, because the scale of the old house was so huge when compared to the scale of the new house. So we had to tinker, tailor a little. But we did get a very beautiful house. This is another house which won us an Acacia award. And you know what? We've used partially the technology of Kerala's Credai. We've used rat bond for the entire brickwork. I have plastered the inside. Lorry Baker doesn't plaster the inside. But I have plastered it because I felt that the housewife would curse me every time she has to, clean the cobwebs. So we plastered the inside, kept the outside unplastered. And one minute, sorry. And we also did not use any RCC, poured concrete in this house. We had precast rafters, which were RCC, on which we either kept brick or we had precast elements, and then we searched for these, those tiles which go like that. It was so difficult to get. We bought old tiles, washed them, scrubbed them. Many of them we had to throw away. But whatever was left, we used. And the temperature of this building inside is 2 degrees less than the neighboring house. And what gratified me most, this is a house for a person called Trithman Chatterjee, who is an actor, 36 Chauragi. I don't know if you know him. He also acted in that fire, recent thing. So he told me, take off the, I had made an opening for the air conditioner. You know, those days it was only window air conditioner. He said, take it off. I don't think this house needs air conditioning. It was fabulous to hear. If it is, he says, if it is lower by 2 degrees than the neighboring house, I don't need an air conditioner. We live with, open out the windows, get in the breeze and remain. Chennai is also endowed with a lot of sea breeze, which sets in at 3 o'clock in the evening. What about our family values? We all used to live in joint families. We always had 3 generations or more in every household. The children used to be taken care of by the older generation. And the older generation used to feel very satisfied and loved by the younger generation. But what happens today? Today, our governments are saying you can have 3 cars for an apartment. But do they tell you the number of bedrooms that you have to have? Why is the automobile given so much importance to in our country? In fact, Singapore did a wonderful model of saying less number of cars. If you have to buy your second car, your taxes are more. Today, when a girl turns 15, the father proudly gives a key and says, here, go and crowd around a little more. So these are values. We have always been people where we empathize, we have a family living, whom we encourage, whom we support financially. Always had a gardener or a cook or whatever. But today what's happening, they all live in slum development boards, which is far away from our, so we are not able to empathize with them at all. We don't know what their difficulties are and they don't know what our difficulties are. So the chasm is widening. So that is going to create problems. The disparity is going to increase. When EWS housing, the central government has said 10% of any development has to be EWS housing. The policy is flawed, yes, because you spend the same amount and you can't sell. It is not affordable anymore to a real EWS person. So you sell it as a service apartment or you sell it as all sorts of things. We try to be innovative. But what should really be done is within the campus, provide a separate area of different kind of housing, which is really affordable. Only then will that society empathize and live with. These are Indian values and these are being done and tried in Chicago. When they had the ghettos and when they were all pulled down for redevelopment, they had a project called Hope 6 where they built subsidized housing where one was given to a regular family, the other was given to a ghetto family. It was a big risk that the government was taking because they didn't know how it will work. It could backfire on them also. But it will work beautifully. The children used to play together, less drugs happened, and the lot of the have-nots improved in comparison with the haves. So this is something that we need to understand. Maybe not in your living room or bedroom, but whatever. Try to provide for them, try to empathize with them, try to educate them. I'm sure we will have no bottom of the pyramid. See this is very beautiful. Okay, I thought 45 minutes is so much time, my God. Okay, I'll rush. See, this is the social scene in a street. Can you see that anymore? The evening conversation happening on the street. Then next. Affordability. We have to think in terms of affordability. We cannot keep our square foot rate going up all the time. Though people can come and look at us and say it's now 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, 2,500, whatever. It keeps going up. We have to innovate ways in which we can keep the costs low, not keep the finish low, but keep the costs low and give them better amenities. This is my model of the reciprocal housing, where it is a concept of selling space, not place. Instead of an apartment being in square feet, it is the cubic content of the house that you're giving, which gives the family flexibility of day use, night use, and some extra space that is available. See, we come from a culture which used to rev water. We come from a culture which used to rev the ground. What are we today? We're filling garbage, we're polluting our rivers, we're polluting our waterways, and then we say we don't have enough water, and we go to Kerala and Karnataka saying, please give us water. This is a project that we are doing in Chegalpet. It's the World City, and we've gone in for the concept of reciprocal housing. And here, there are no driveways outside the building. It's a gold-rated building. It's a LEED gold-rated. And we have gone in for the concept of the internal streets, inspired by the streetscape of India, where children, older people can interact. We have a raised platform between the parking areas. So, and we programmed activities around it. You have your istriwala there, you have your, somebody coming and giving vegetables there. It's a community that you're building. It's not just apartments that you're giving. You have to nurture the community, otherwise you have problems later. So the landscapes are working landscapes. So here, we've gone in for natural drainage systems, percolation trenches, dispersion areas, collection pits for water, which can be recycled when water is required. So here also, this is our shopping scene. We are intrinsically very green. So what has happened to us? Why do we have to become green now? Indians are very green. Yeah. But in what is a design centric? We have to design for longevity. And that, I think, is to build in harmony along with your green initiatives. So I call it teal because blue is for harmony. So bring in green and blue together. Holistic sustainability is required. Combination of environmental sensitivity with socio-economic sustainability to design is the only way forward. Well, this is my philosophy of design, where it is iterative, transactional, inclusive, equitable, and reciprocal, where you include all stakeholders and negotiate. So the process has to be open, inclusive, and finally equitable. So it is reciprocal, you reciprocate. So now here we are, that's our growing city. And we also have people like this, smart people, still in bullock carts with a smartphone. So we need to include them to be part of that backdrop. So how are we going to do that? So having said all this, I'd like to conclude with a question to you. The legacy that we are creating, do you want to create a mediocre, run-of-the-mill building, or do you want to create a masterpiece which stands out as an example to Indians and to the world at large? And taking my experience, believe me, they are not looking, the world is not looking at India for their westernized habits, but is looking at India for its intrinsic strengths, which come from culture and heritage. So I think Kochi should be a shining beacon of an example which can stand out and show the rest of India the way forward and include your culture, your heritage, and not forget that development, when development happens, it happens so fast. And there will be somebody from Singapore coming and saying, hey, I'm going to do this for you. From Japan coming and saying, I'm going to do this for you. And the government will say, yes, 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 yes. But is it all relevant to us? We have to sit back and think. And I think this forum is the blessed forum which can be responsible and has to think about this when these kind of options come. Don't forget to dream. Dream about the future. We need to give the future generations a lovely, lovely planet. And let us make India truly a superpower and make our cities livable and not nightmares to live in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I request you to remain on the dais because this is a time for interactive session. Okay, we have earmarked 10 to 15 minutes. So I request those who wishes to make a question to ma'am, please raise your hand. We'll reach the holder's phone to you and make it short and sweet so that more people can participate in the question answer session. So who is going to set the ball rolling? Who is going to ask the first question to ma'am? Yeah, there's a hand up there. Please introduce yourself, just your name, and then you can ask the question.
Ma'am, this is an excellent presentation. I'm myself Thamuraj. I do chair a Center for Public Policy Research in Kochi. From your experience, what are the hindrances here in terms of, I've seen similar architecture models in Chennai, of course, but I just want to know what prevents people from doing this? Whether it is government control, is it our master plan, is it the attitude of the client? What is this?
I think we have forgotten that we are Indian, and I think the British legacy has led us to, salam the British or any whites. So we think that anything coming from there is good. We only know how to Indianize our pizzas and our Subway sandwiches, but we don't know how to Indianize our